John 2:3. Et deficiente vino dicit mater Iesu ad eum, vinum non habent. And when the wine was running out, or as the wine was running out, or since the wine was running out, the mother of Jesus says to him, they do not have wine. We've got a direct quotation here after ad eum. This is actually what Mary says to Jesus. Mary, by the way, is never named in the Gospel of John, interestingly. But here we have the first sign of John's Gospel at the beginning of chapter 2 at the wedding in Cana. We're continuing to hear a description of what happened there. And deficiente vino is the first thing that we should start with here. This is an ablative absolute. That is an element of the sentence which is not strictly speaking connected necessarily to the rest of the sentence. That's what absolute means. It sort of stands apart, but the sense, of course, is connected. And we can form ablative absolutes in lots of different ways. We can have a participle and a noun, for instance, a perfect passive participle and a noun. That's a very common combination. You can have an adjective and a noun with the verb to be simply implied from context. There's lots of different ways that you can form these ablative absolutes, but they're extremely useful. They're very compact and efficient, and you see them all over the Latin prose and poetry of every era. Deficiente comes from a verb you might not have seen before, deficio, deficere, defeci, defectum. This is a third conjugation verb, and it means to be lacking, and you see that in our English derivative. Something that's defective is missing something important that makes it function. Jesus' mother says to him, we might legitimately wonder why we don't have ei here, as we often have been seeing with dicit, but that's just the kind of thing that we need to not worry too much about in the Vulgate. Let's look at what Mary actually says. Vinum non habent. They don't have wine. What would be another way to say this in Latin using a word that you just learned, deficio? Well, we could say vinum deficit. The wine has run out. There's no more wine. But habent, interestingly here, puts some emphasis on those who don't have any more wine. That is, those in charge of providing food and drink for the wedding. And of course, it's in part to spare those people embarrassment that this first sign of Jesus' public ministry occurs.